It fell shut. In the blink of an eye, they were gone.
Damn it!
As soon as Ace and Lotus were gone, Junpei and the others leapt for the door, in pursuit of Ace. But as Junpei laid his hand on the doorknob, there was a noise behind him. He looked over his shoulder. June was kneeling on the floor, breathing heavily.
Hey, June, what happened? Are you alright?
Santa ran to June and wrapped his arm around her before she could collapse all the way.
Jesus, you're burning up. Your fever's back. Are you okay?
June's fever had returned, again for no apparent reason. Her eyes were watery and her eyelids drooped. Her breath came in dry, shallow gasps.
I'm okay. Really, I'm fine. You should be worrying about Lotus.
She was breathing hard now, and she could barely summon the strength to talk.
But
the fever is never explained directly, but once we get through the game, you should be able to infer what's going on. Junpei was torn. He couldn't leave June all alone in the state she was in. But every moment they waited, Ace was farther away, Lotus's life in his hands. What was Junpei supposed to do? June's eyes drifted to Junpei's. She managed to muster a weak smile.
Jumpy, don't worry about me. I just need a little rest. I'll be fine. Don't you remember? I just needed to rest a little bit last time. So please, please save Lotus.
Think about what Ace has already done, Junpei. When he's got what he needs from Lotus, you really think he's just gonna let her walk away?
damn it. You guys go on ahead. Soon as June starts feeling better, we'll follow you. Go!
Junpei looked at June. She nodded once. She couldn't manage much more. But it was all the confirmation Junpei needed. His resolve was set.
All right. Come on, Seven. We're going after Ace.
Hell yeah!
Santa, you take good care of June. I'm trusting you. Got it.
Santa nodded. Junpei turned before he had a chance to change his mind and started running towards the door. He could hear Seven's heavy footsteps behind him.
Let's go!
Junpei and Seven exploded into the hallway, their feet pounding the metal floor as they ran. Junpei and Seven had finally arrived at the church, exhausted and out of breath. As their lungs struggled to catch their breath, their eyes frantically scanned the room.
Where are they?
I don't see them.
You think they already went through?
He reached up to wipe a palmful of sweat from his brow.
Maybe.
Even as he spoke, Junpei was already on his way to the larger of the number 9 doors.
Let's check the red.
The display panel read vacant. He spun around and headed towards the smaller door. The red would tell him if Ace and Lotus had moved to another room.
Engaged. It's occupied.
That means Ace and Lotus went through here.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Junpei and Seven stepped away from the door. They retreated to the center of the room and began to talk.
What do we do now?
Yeah, what should we do? Well, the big door is still vacant, but...
The two of us can't do anything with it.
Yeah, not even counting how our digital route isn't 9.
Just then, as they were pondering what to do next... This seems familiar, doesn't it? There was a noise. A noise like someone hitting a thick wooden panel.
What's that sound?
Junpei looked up. surprised. 7 followed suit, his eyes jumping around the room, looking for the source of the sound.
It's coming from over there.
It wasn't long before they found the altar. Or more precisely, what was on it.
The coffin.
Yeah.
Let's open it.
How?
By force!
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Well, you never know till you try, right? The only necessity for success is the willingness to suffer 1,000 failures.
Who said that?
I forget. Anyway, we've got to try.
Junpei and 7 leapt at the coffin. They grabbed hold of what purchase they could find and pulled.
Damn it!
See? Didn't I tell you? If you could just pull it open, why would it have something like that?
7 pointed to the keypad on the side of the coffin.
Right. So unless I put in the right passcode, it's not gonna open.
The noise hadn't stopped. In fact, as it continued, it only gotten louder and more forceful. What were they supposed to do, Junpei wondered.
Is there some sort of clue somewhere?
They stood there for a few moments, staring at the coffin, and then 7 spoke.
Hey, Junpei. I remember you mumbling about some weird numbers over by the bathroom in the first-class cabin. You got those numbers by solving the secret message Clover was holding, right? Truth had gone, or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. What about it?
Well, maybe that number's the passcode for this thing, too.
Come on, that's impossible. Those numbers were the code to unlock that safe.
Yeah, but the person who set up that safe in this coffin is the same person, right? Zero set up both of these.
Yeah, probably.
Well, then they might have set the same passcode for both of them.
That's ridiculous.
Why don't you just try it? I mean, it's not like you'll make things any worse.
It'd just be a waste of time. There's no way they're the same number.
How do you know that? You never know until you try. The only necessity for success is the willingness to suffer 1,000 failures.
Who said that?
You.
Fine.
He knelt down in front of the keypad and looked at it. Perhaps because he'd repeated them so many times before, the numbers came easily to Junpei's mind.
1438 3421.
Quickly, he typed them in. He checked that he'd entered the right numbers, took a deep breath, and pressed the E button. It only took a moment.
What? You gotta be kidding me.
There was a click. And with a heavy clunk, the lid of the coffin slid off onto the floor. Someone sat up from inside.
Snake!
You? Why?
Ah, those voices. Junpei and 7, unless I'm mistaken. Where are the others? Are they elsewhere?
Of course, there was no reason Snake would have known anything about where anyone else would be. Junpei and 7 looked at one another. There was a great deal he needed to know, but... They had to tell him something, however, so they began to talk. Snake explained to them how he became to be locked in the coffin. Apparently, he'd been hit with some sort of knockout gas, and Junpei and 7 explained what happened to the rest of them.
I see. I believe I got the gist of everything. Have I been sufficiently caught up?
No, there was one thing they kept from him. There was one thing, however, that neither 7 nor Junpei could bring themselves to say. That Ace had killed Clover. They feared that if Snake knew, he might well go insane.
Yeah.
They decided as much by a look the moment Snake had climbed out of the coffin.
But that still doesn't explain why you were trapped in here.
We've still got no clue about Zero's true identity, let alone why the hell he's doing all this. Why did he put Guy X in Snake's clothes? Is all this stuff somehow related to that nonary game that was played 9 years ago?
Hey, Snake, do you know anything?
Junpei put the question to Snake. His answer was less than illuminating.
What are you talking about? I apologize, but I have no idea what you're saying.
It seemed that as though Snake was, perhaps, not being entirely honest, but that knowledge did Junpei and Seven little good.
Oh, come on, just tell us if you know.
I don't know what to tell you. How can I know something I don't?
No matter how many times they asked, he insisted that he knew nothing. It was becoming clear that Snake wouldn't give in, and every second they spent asking him was a second wasted.
This is bad. We're running out of time.
We need to go after Ace.
However, they stood in silence, the overpowering atmosphere of the chapel almost stifling. Junpei, Seven, and Snake simply stood at a loss for what they should do next.
What do we do now?
He glanced over at Snake's wrist. Sure enough, he could see the 2 on the bracelet on Snake's wrist.
The 3 of us can't make a digital route of 9.
Yeah, we just get 5.
We're stuck here then.
Oh. Hey, I just remembered something.
Seven began patting his pockets as if he were checking to see if any of them held anything.
What?
What is it?
I found something earlier.
What did you find?
This.
He finally found the pocket he wanted, and his hand dove into it. Seven pulled out something round and metal. A bracelet. There was no mistaking the number glowing at them from the face like a cartoon eye.
0. Zero's bracelet.
What did you say? Are you saying that 7 has the number 0 bracelet?
Yeah.
Where did you get that?
Snake's question was innocent enough, but if he learned the truth, if he'd been able to see, he would have noticed Seven look away.
Clover gave it to me.
She did?
Yeah.
How did she come by it?
Well, she found it. See, on the other side of door 1, A deck, in the captain's quarters. She asked me to hold on to it because it was too big and bulky for her to be lugging around.
He's lying.
Junpei could tell right away that Seven wasn't telling the truth.
He even told us earlier.
I haven't actually looked at it yet. Didn't want to disturb the crime scene, you know? Basic stuff. Well, I did borrow one thing.
He probably said that so Snake doesn't find out about Clover.
All right, Junpei. Been nice knowing you.
Wait, what?
7 plus 2 plus 0 equals 9.
Come on, man. I'm just kidding. Still, just in case, I want to make sure the 0 bracelet gets picked up by the red. Snake, give me a hand, all right?
Without waiting for a response, he started walking towards the door. Junpei and Snake followed him, quietly. Before long, they found themselves in front of the larger of the 2 doors. 7 and Snake put their palms on the red. Once they'd done that, 7 put the number 0 bracelet on the scanner panel as well. A third asterisk appeared on the screen. 7 plus 2 plus 0 equals 9. Now they just need to pull the lever, and the door would open.
Huh? Why isn't it opening?
Well, the third asterisk lit up, so it must have registered the 0 bracelet.
Maybe it isn't actually 0.
Huh?
What?
That bracelet may not actually produce the number 0 when scanned. That is what I'm saying. Why don't we try a few different combinations? Perhaps we can determine what number that bracelet actually contains.
Oh, got it!
Junpei nodded. They decided to use the following combination. Everybody!
Let's try all three of us and the bracelet.
Junpei plus Snake plus 7 equals 14. 1 plus 4 would equal 5.
If this combination works, then the number for this bracelet is 4.
It
That ain't it.
Then this bracelet is not 4.
Then,
Junpei continued. They decided to use the following combination. Junpei and 7.
let's try me, 7, and the bracelet.
Junpei plus 7 equals 12, and that goes
If this
down to
combination
3.
works, then the number for this bracelet is 6.
They scanned in their bracelets.
It opened.
Yes, so it would seem.
7 clearly hadn't thought their experimentation would produce anything useful, and looked rather confused. Snake was, as usual, calm and smug. The door slid closed. Junpei's forehead furrowed as he thought.
That means the bracelet is actually 6.
7 plus 5 plus 6 equals 18, 1 plus 8 equals 9.
But how is that possible? The display on the bracelet clearly shows a 0.
Suddenly, from somewhere far beneath them, they heard the creak and groan of tearing metal. With it came the sound of water pouring into parts of the ship that had, until recently, been dry.
Oh man, that's not good. I guess our time's just about up, huh?
At any rate, we know now that the door can be opened. Let's go!
But, Snake, are you sure?
Yeah. You know that only Junpei and I can go through this way.
You needn't worry. I have a solution to this problem. My last resort. But if now is not the time for last resorts, then when?
Last?
Resort?
Junpei, 7, and Snake ran full tilt down the long, straight hallway. They were headed for the stern of the ship and had no time for distractions. As they ran, 7 spoke.
Gotta admit, you really surprised me there, kid. I couldn't figure out how the hell you were gonna get out of that one. How come you didn't do that right off the bat?
As I told you, it was a last resort. Had I used it at the beginning of the game, I would have come under a great deal of suspicion. I imagine that most people would have taken it to mean that I was Zero. Once they'd convinced themselves of that, I wasn't optimistic about my chances of making it out of here alive, let alone unscathed. I felt it best to play my cards close to the chest, as it were. That way, if I were in a situation where there was nothing else I could do, I'd have a little trick up my sleeve. I'd just take my bracelet off.
Snake's plan had been simple, but effective. He'd simply removed his bracelet. How? To Junpei, it looked as though Snake had simply crushed the bones of his hand until they were small enough to fit through the wristband. Of course, that would have been practically impossible, so... how had he done it?
My brother's left arm is, it's not like a normal person's arm. It's fake. It's not a real arm.
Snake had slid the bracelet off and tossed it into the coffin.
I know this is kind of a weird thing to say, but I'm glad that's a fake arm.
Don't have to be afraid of the door if you don't got a bracelet.
You are correct.
He'd walked through the door easily, without authenticating. He stepped out the other side, unscathed, and began running down the hall alongside 7 and Junpei. They kept running for a while longer, and eventually came upon a set of stairs leading downward on the right side of the hallway. They stopped and peered down the staircase.
I think these stairs connect to the bottom deck.
Doesn't look like it's underwater.
They nodded quickly to one another and jogged down the stairs. It took only a few minutes to make their way to the bottom deck. There was a single hallway in front of them, at the end of which was a single door.
Let's go through that door.
Junpei threw it open. Inside was a massive iron gate. A plate was affixed to the top of it. It read, Incinerator.
Incinerator?
Oh my. That doesn't sound very pleasant. Do you see a lever near the gate, perhaps?
Yeah, right over here.
How did you know that?
Well, I'd be happy to regale you with the story. I imagine it should only take half a day or so.
Junpei grumbled, gave Snake a dirty look, and jogged over to the lever.
If you pull it, the door ought to open.
Got it.
He pulled the lever down. He crushed his arm to take the bracelet off. Basically. With the rumble of an ancient motor, the door opened. There was no need to hold back, no time to hesitate. They pushed their way inside. Standing in front of them were Ace and Lotus. Ace still held the revolver in his hand. It was still pressed hard against Lotus's temple. A small dark bruise had begun to form near the tip. Even from several yards away, Junpei could see that Lotus was shaking. She was terrified. No, they mentioned it. Junpei, it was like a brief sentence where it mentioned, it looked like he just totally crushed his arm and crushed the bones to get out the way. They did mention it. But yes, the incinerator. But perhaps more interesting was what Junpei saw behind them. 9. Another number 9 door.
What? Why? Why is there another one?
The door stopped Junpei in his tracks. It simply shouldn't have been there. As his brain finally began to consider why, the whine of a warding klaxon filled the air, drowning out any thought.
Warning. Warning. Emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. Automatic incineration will take place in 9 minutes.
Another 9. Go figure. We are getting close to the end of the end.
Please evacuate the incinerator immediately.
Oh my, how exciting. You've run quite a show here, Zero.
A terrifying smile twisted Ace's face.
What's the matter? Too frightened to understand? Here, let me explain.
It's said that the incineration system is about to activate. In 9 minutes, this room will be engulfed in flame.
Who are you?
You don't recognize me? I'm hurt. It's me, Snake.
Snake? Oh yes, you are alive. I'm afraid your bizarre style had me confused. I'm quite glad to see that you're alive.
Ace's voice didn't change. Snake ground his teeth.
If you don't mind my asking, how did you get here? Snake, Junpei, 7. The 3 of you couldn't have opened a door with a 9. Did you use Clover's bracelet, perhaps?
What?
Yeah, Ace gets to drop this little bombshell on him.
Ah, well, your reaction suggests that you did not.
Hold on. Why did you think we'd have Clover's bracelet?
Junpei felt his chest tighten.
Oh, they haven't told you?
Told me what?
Clearly not. Normally I would take some time and enjoy the moment. But I'm afraid my time is at a premium just now.
Yeah, this is awkward.
I'll have to make this quick. Clover.
Don't do it, Ace! Keep your goddamn mouth shut!
Clover.
I said stop it! Don't listen to him, Snake.
Junpei could feel his voice going hoarse, but Snake didn't listen to him.
What happened to Clover?
Ace looked at him. The corner of his mouth curled into the hook of a cruel smile.
Clover died.
The color left Snake's face. He shook his head weakly.
No, that's not true. That's impossible. It's a lie. It has to be a lie.
Oh, it's quite true, I can assure you of that. I killed her myself, you see.
What?
And we actually get to see his eyes open.
I'm sorry, did I stutter? I killed her.
Snake's face twisted into a mask of rage, mottled red rising to dot his pale skin. His entire body shook. He looked, to Junpei, disturbingly like a demon.
I would have rather she died with less suffering. A bullet in her brain, perhaps, would have been ideal. Unfortunately, that would have made quite a bit of noise. Circumstances being what they were, I was forced to settle for the knife. The one the ninth man had, you remember. I believe I caught her just below the shoulder blade. I was rather lucky, in fact. My first thrust went right between her ribs. Her flesh was so soft. My knife slid in so easily. There was no resistance.
God, this sounds creepy.
That feeling was... I confess, I feel rather excited.
I didn't need to know
It is
that.
a powerful memory. Someday, perhaps, I hope I can feel it again.
Incineration will begin in 7 minutes.
I'm going to kill you.
Snake's words were a guttural growl, barely audible.
What was that?
I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
Ah, so you're going to kill me.
That is what he said.
Please do. Come now. I'm waiting.
Don't do it! Don't listen to him, Snake!
Stop it, kid. He's screwing with your head.
Is there a problem? What are you waiting for, boy? Don't you want me to send you to join your sister?
Don't! The Snake!
Don't do it!
But Snake could no longer hear them. Snake could no longer hear anything. Snake moved like a bolt of lightning. His scream echoed through the incineration chamber, full of rage and despair.
Snake! Snake!
Another scream filled the room. It was Lotus. She ran across the room towards Junpei, her eyes wide with terror.
Lotus! Hurry! This way!
Snake's ill-fated attack had loosened Ace's grip on her, and she made a run for it. She reached Seven and Junpei and ducked behind them.
Incineration will begin in 5 minutes.
Give me the woman.
He raised the gun.
I need her. Without her bracelet, I will be unable to open this door.
And
Quickly
math.
now. I don't have time for your shenanigans.
In the center of the room, Snake's body lay eerily still. He looked like a human larva, prone and vulnerable on the floor.
I see. Then it would seem I have no choice. The rest of you must die as well. Fortunately, I have 5 bullets left. 1 for Junpei, another for Lotus, and the last 3 for that lump of idiotic man you call Seven. I will take Lotus's body with me and leave this room.
Incineration will begin in 4 minutes.
Well, it looks as though our time together is at an end. I rather enjoyed playing with you.
Damn it!
Junpei could see Ace's finger tighten. He could see it begin to squeeze down on the trigger. His body tensed, preparing for the catastrophic impact of hot lead against human flesh.
Goodbye.
Then it happened.
Kill you?
Snake stood up.
What? No, that's impossible.
For the first time, Ace's composure broke. With obvious effort, Snake lunged forward, one step closer to Ace. Then another. He looked for all the world like a zombie.
I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
Never mess with a man determined. His voice was a mournful wailing of the undead.
Stay away from me. Get back. Stop. If you come any closer, I'll get away from me.
You'll get away from you? Sounds confusing. Little by little, Ace was retreating. Snake didn't stop. He continued his stiff, inexorable approach. I still like that word, inexorable. His eyes twin pools of pure fury.
Listen to me. I said don't come any closer. Shit! You bastard!
Ace's revolver leapt 5 times. 5 times the air in the incinerator was split by the crack of a bullet. Snake's body twitched as 5 clouds of blood and torn flesh leapt into the air across his body. A fine peak mist drifted from his body and disappeared. Junpei didn't have time to ponder what that meant before. And then his strength was gone. His legs crumbled and his broken and battered body slid to the floor.
Incineration will begin in 3 minutes.
Finally. You're...
But Snake wasn't done.
I'll kill you.
Even as the pool of blood beneath him grew, he began to move. He half crawled, half slid towards Ace. One bloody arm wrapped itself around Ace's leg.
You won't get away.
And the other gripped his thigh with strength that should have been long gone.
You son of a bitch! You're a monster! Get off me! Let me go, damn you!
He kicked at Snake with his free leg, driving his foot into Snake's face, his arm, his shoulder. It made no difference. Snake refused to release him. Once a snake has ensnared its prey, rarely does it release it.
This is it, Ace. We're going to burn to death together. What?
Incineration will begin in 2 minutes.
Yeah, damn it! Damn you! Get off! Let me go, you monster! Okay, look. Think about it this way. My company owns a wonderful hospital. It has excellent doctors. You're not wounded too seriously. I'm sure they can fix you up easily.
I don't think he cares.
You don't have to die. You could be saved. Just let me go. Pathetic. Begging for your life.
Yeah, she brought up the left arm, which is prosthetic, because that's what, that's essentially what he was trying to kick to get free. He was trying to kick a prosthetic arm. Then Seven and Lotus began to speak. Junpei could hear tears in their voices, and their words restrained.
Snake, that's enough! You can stop now!
Yes! He's right, Snake! You've done enough!
Come on, Snake, let's go! Let's get out of here!
You have to come with us! We have to leave together!
Snake turned toward them. He coughed, and blood splattered across the floor. Then he smiled a sad sort of smile.
I apologize, but I'm afraid I can't do that. You'd best forget about me. You need to leave soon. I'm going to take him with me.
Shut up! Be quiet!
I couldn't save Clover. My sister died because of me. Perhaps this will begin to atone for that. Perhaps in the afterlife, she can forgive me. Now go. Go now. You have to go.
Incineration will begin in 1 minute.
God damn it! Shit! We're out of time! We gotta go!
Seven ran towards the exit. Lotus followed him. But Junpei couldn't move. There were white lines down Snake's cheeks where his tears had washed the blood away. He was broken, body and soul, and Junpei felt as though half of his own heart had been torn out. His eyes stung, and he tried desperately to swallow to clear the lump in his throat.
Junpei, what are you doing? You have to get out of here now!
Junpei's chest tightened, pulled taut by anger, misery, and a cold feeling of emptiness. Pure emotion surged through his heart, alongside the torrent of blood. He could feel it building, a tremendous wave growing taller and taller and taller. And then it broke, crashing down with thunderous force onto his shaken, unprepared mind.
Snake! Snake!
One more! Ah! Junpei's rational mind was gone. He was driven by instinct now, and he launched himself across the floor at Snake and Ace. Or he tried to.
Wait! Don't be an idiot, Junpei!
He felt a hand grab him from behind. It was Seven. Before he had time to react, the larger man had pinned Junpei's arms to his side and was hauling him bodily back toward the door.
No! No! I have to help Snake! Snake! Snake!
There we go!
Get off of me! Let me go!
Incineration will begin in 10 seconds. 7, 6.
Damn it, I don't get a choice, kid! Don't blame me for this, alright?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Gates 2 and 3 are locked down. Beginning incineration.
Junpei felt Seven's fist bury itself deep in his stomach, and then his legs turned to mush. Seven scooped him up in the same motion and leapt through the door. It slammed shut behind them. Junpei struggled to shaky feet. He glanced over to see Lotus only a short distance away. Junpei ran to the door. There was a small window cut into it. Inside, he could see Ace and Snake.
Shit! Damn you all! Why? Why? Why me? I don't deserve this!
Yes, you do.
Answer me! Answer me, Zero! Why? Why? Zero! Zero! Zero!
He didn't know how much time passed. He didn't know how long he stood there in front of the incinerator. He looked to the side. Lotus's face was ashen, and if not for the hand she put against the wall, Junpei didn't think she could have stood. Seven looked old and tired and used. His eyes stared at the floor, seeing nothing. Junpei said nothing. He simply began to walk towards the open door in the hallway they'd come down earlier.
Hey, wait! Junpei!
Junpei, where are you going?
He blinked when their voices broke the silence. He stopped.
You stay here. I'll go get Santa and June.
You're gonna bring them here?
How?
Don't worry about that. Just stay here and wait, all right?
He began to walk again. He looked over his shoulder and watched Seven and Lotus grow smaller and smaller. They stared back, not moving. He wasn't sure if they could. He turned around again. He knew where he was going.
I saw an elevator on the way here. If I can get it to work, then maybe...
Before long, Junpei found himself in front of the elevator. Next to the door was a button with a triangle on it.
Please work.
He pushed it, and the door opened.
Yes.
Junpei was in the large hospital room.
June! Santa!
He kept calling and walked to the center of the room. But try as he might, he couldn't find them.
Damn it. Where did they go?
Increasingly frustrated and increasingly worried, Junpei left the large hospital room. He had no choice. He would have to look for them. Junpei's heart was heavy. He couldn't shake the feeling, but there was a part of him that felt like it would be wrong to, even if he could. With every single step he took, his legs felt more and more like lead. Sometime later, Junpei found himself at the chapel. He stepped inside, expecting to find nothing. But there, on the red carpet in the center of the room... June! No, code names didn't matter any longer. She was Connie.
Connie!
Junpei cried her name and ran. Like lightning he ran across the room towards her.
Connie!
As he looked down at her body, lying so still on the floor, he felt the icy grip of fear upon his heart. She was still, so very still.
No. It can't be. It's impossible.
Slowly, Junpei bent down towards her. His hand shook, and he felt very cold and very hot at the same time. He forced himself to look. Her back. Her back was moving. Slowly, it rose and fell. Relief washed over him.
Oh, Connie!
Junpei reached down and gently, very gently, lifted her up.
Connie, are you all right?
Jumpy?
Her face was pale, and her lips were dry and cracked. Her eyes were blank and cloudy. They stared straight at Junpei, but saw nothing. Trembling, Junpei wrapped his arm around her back. She was cold. Very cold. Junpei tried to convince himself that it was only his imagination, but she felt as though she were fading away. He could feel his heart pounding frantically in his chest.
Oh man. Connie, what the hell happened to you? You feel...
Jumpy, I'm sorry.
Her voice was very faint.
I might not make it.
No way. No way I am going to let you die. I am going to save you. I promise.
Thank you, Jumpy. Thank you so much for everything. I was really happy to see you again, Jumpy. Really happy.
Oh, don't give me that I was crap. You're going to see me again lots more times. You just got to hang on. All right, Connie?
Jumpy, did you know you meant a lot to me when we were kids? I've liked you for a long time, Junpei. A really long time.
Junpei's vision had gone blurry. It took him a moment to realize his eyes were filled with tears. He could feel a piercing point of heat deep in his heart, like a white-hot flame. He looked down at Akane. There was a crack of static from above his head, and a voice spoke.
0. You son of a bitch! Where are you hiding?
Junpei frantically scanned the ceiling for the source of the voice.
What the hell are you talking about? No, it hasn't. I'm not gonna let it end yet. I'm gonna get out of here with Connie. Why?
Because you chose the wrong path.
The wrong path?
That is correct. Your path is invariably, however, admit defeat. Where there is shadow, there is light. Where there is the absence of light, there is no shadow. So it goes.
What are you talking about?
That is not. The loser has been decided.
I told you! I am not gonna lose!
No, you misunderstand. You have lost. I have lost.
What?
Ominous! Junpei didn't have time to ponder what that meant before. He heard the door slam shut behind him. He spun around. There was no one there. Was it 0?
Connie, wait here. I'll be right back, I promise.
She managed a single nod. Junpei laid her back down gently and leapt for the door. He yanked it open and shot outside. No one. The hole was empty. There was nothing moving anywhere.
Damn it. Where are you? It doesn't matter. I need to get Connie out first.
He didn't want to leave Connie alone any longer than he had to, so Junpei turned around and headed back to the chapel.
Connie!
She wasn't there. She wasn't anywhere. She'd been lying there, on the floor, just moments before. And now she was gone.
Oh God. No. No. Where is she? Connie. Connie! Connie! Connie!
His cry split the heavens themselves. He screamed until his voice gave out. Then he screamed some more. But there was nothing. No answer. His voice faded away, and all that remained was cold, unfeeling silence. That was when he noticed it.
Huh?
A strange smell, one he'd smelled before.
Wait. This is... white smoke.
"9 seconds later, Junpei's mind winked out. Confusing end! And yeah, Akane was yoinked away from him at the very end. This will all make sense next week. Because next week we finish this thing out. And see, the thing is, if you go down the right path and make the right choices, before you see that ending, you hit a to be continued point. But now that we have seen that ending, the to be continued point will not be there. Next week on Dragon Ball Z. But yeah, basically, we're going to capture the last two endings in one run. I believe so anyway. It's supposed to give you both of them if you finish it off this certain way. If not, well, I will just tell you, I will just kind of go over what happened. Once again, the end! Or is it? Achievement unlocked. Chance of loss is not 0. Yes, they did. But we get this. What's going on? Now it is time. Let our game begin. And so we have all 4 of the final endings. But the game begins next Saturday at 8 p.m. Central. And we can finish this out. And get ready to move on to Virtue's Last Reward. Which improves upon everything this game does in so many ways. So anyway, thank you all so very much for joining me. I will be back next week, as I've said many, many times by now. And let's just see what has opened up for us, shall we? Notice that key is now unlocked. And funny, we've got some keys here that have not opened up yet. And here. and here. So that tells you the path we've got to take. If you can figure out which paths are which doors, which you should be able to, just a little bit. So I'll let this scroll one more time, so later on when you view this online, you can kind of see where we're headed next week. So anyway, take care, folks. I will see you back next week for more. And again, thank you so very, very much for joining me through this little romp through 999. Take care, everyone. See you around.